Hello, I hope you are enjoying these Excel training videos and have been practicing the formulas as I explained in my last module. Today we will take the formulas a step further. We will look into various type of cell referencing. Okay, all right. So in this example, I have entered some data, as you can see. So let's say I'm making an quotation. Okay, so I want to send a quotation to one of my prospect client. So I have added the number of atoms, the description of the atom, and these are the prices of the atoms before VAT, and VAT is 20%. Okay, so VAT gross will be the value when the VAT 20% VAT is added on the net price. Okay, so the calculation, the way it would go, or how would you add 20% and calculate the gross value? So it would be net value multiply by 20%. This will give you the VAT amount, but the gross VAT is actually this amount plus net VAT. So it's very simple. It should be net VAT plus C4 into E1. I don't have to add the parentheses because we saw the operator precedence will ask Excel to calculate the multiplication first and then the addition. So the net price is 120, okay? And when we add 20% of VAT, the gross value is 144, okay? Now, if I want to copy this formula for next item, so select, you can click on copy from clipboard. Okay, and in Excel you would see the dotted line around the cell and it's animated, which means that the cell reference is copied. Select this cell where you want to paste it and click on paste. Okay, you see the hash because the value doesn't fit in the column, auto fit the column, and you will get the value. Now you can see that it hasn't added VAT. It gave us 4,300 as it is. Why that has happened? If you look into the formula, so go into the edit mode, or you can see the formula in the formula bar as well, but I'll hit F2 key. It says C5, so this value, which is correct, plus C5 into E2. So E1 in this cell has become E2 because we saw last time when you copy and paste the formula or an equation or a function, the reference will change automatically in relation with how much you moved your reference cell. Okay, so we copied the formula and pasted it in a row one below. So all references kept the column number same, but the row number has moved one below. So not only C4 became C5, but also E1 became E2. But this is not what we want. We want this formula also to refer to the same cell, that is E1, to calculate the VAT. To do that, you need to do something called as absolute referencing. So C4 plus C4 into E1, this referencing is called as relative referencing. To make it absolute, which means that even if you copy and paste the cell to different location, the reference should stay the same. Okay, so to do that, to fix the referencing, what you need to do is simply add a dollar sign in front of the row name or a column name, depending on which of it you want to keep as a fixed reference. Okay, so when we are copying this formula and pasting it in a row below, we are not changing the column. Okay, so the copy paste won't change the column reference to E. However, we are changing the row when we copy and paste, which means it will also change the reference from row number 1 to the next row when we copy and paste. And we want to keep row number fixed, so add dollar sign in front of 1. So our formula now looks like C4 plus C4 into E1. Hit enter. Okay, so this answer is same which we had before as well. Now drag and drop or copy and paste, and now you can see that it has calculated the value with 20% VAT. When I go into edit mode, you can see that column C4 has sales C4 reference had changed to C5. However, E1 stays as E1, and you can double click on it to fill in the rest of the value. Okay, rest of the cells. So this is how the absolute referencing works. If you want to keep the row same or column same or both, you need to add dollar sign to it. So it can also work as dollar even, dollar E dollar one, or E dollar one in this particular case. So depending on whether you want to fix the column or fix the row, you can use this dollar sign accordingly. Okay. All right, let's go a step further. We looked at the Autosum last time, and the way I told you is you select the cell where you want to add the Autosum and click on Autosum and hit the enter key. It will calculate the Autosum. Okay, I'll tell you a few other ways of adding the relative referencing. Okay, you can also do the sum like this, equal to SUM open bracket, and as you can see in the tooltip, it asks you to enter numbers separated by comma. You can do that by selecting the references. Okay, so C4 comma C5 comma C6 comma C7 comma C8, close the bracket and enter. It will give you the same value. All right. The other way is when your reference cells are in one row, one column, or one particular region like adjacent, then you can enter it as a range. So SUM sum open bracket, okay, and you can click your mouse on first cell that you want to select, keep your mouse pressed and drag it until you cover all the cells that you want to add. When you do it, simultaneously you can check in the formula that it has automatically added the reference C4 colon C8. Close the bracket, hit the enter key, and you have the value. Now if you want to calculate sum for VAT cross, you can drag the cell and you will get the value which is gross VAT. Okay, now if you want to calculate how much is the exact VAT amount that your customer has to pay, okay, you can calculate that by subtracting the net value from gross value T9 minus C9, hit enter. Okay, and if you want to calculate how much is the percentage VAT of the gross amount, how would you calculate it? VAT amount divided by gross VAT, and sorry, it should be percentage of net VAT divided by net VAT, and you can see that it is 0.2. To show it in percentage, you need to select the cell and click on percentage sign under number command group on the ribbon under home tab. So click on percentage and it will show you 20%. Okay, so this sets a proper invoice for you. If the VAT percentage changes, and let's say if it becomes 15%, if you click on it, your spreadsheet is ready to go with 50% VAT calculation. If it becomes 10%, then it's 10%. So this basically helps you as a check that your spreadsheet is calculating it correctly. Okay. If you want to find out that which one is the costliest item out of these five, well, of course, these are only five items. So when you look at it, you know which one is the costliest one. But if you want to do that by formula, you can. So if you want to know the maximum amount that your customer would pay for one item, there is a formula called as max bracket, and as you can see, it asks for the numbers. So similarly, as you did for sum, we can select cell by cell like this. It will give you the maximum amount, which is 4,300, or you can select the range C4 to C8. It will give you the maximum number. If you want to calculate minimum, then the formula is MIN bracket, select the range, close the bracket, hit enter. If you want to calculate average, then AVRAGE, VERAGE, average bracket, select the range, close the bracket, and hit the enter key. So 1010 is the average amount of five items that your customer is paying. For the auto sum, as we clicked on this, we got the auto sum, but as you say, when you take your mouse over auto sum, you see a small drop down arrow there. If you click on it, it shows you that there are various options that you can do automatically, which is auto sum, auto average, auto count, auto max, auto min. So how it works is when you go here, delete, and click on drop down and select auto average, enter, then or auto max, enter, similarly auto min will keep auto sum. Count, so count, if you can see the tooltip, it gives you the explanation what this function does. So it counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. So whatever range you select and hit enter, any cell that containing the numbers, it will count. So the answer that we expect here is number 5. So this is how the relative referencing and cross-referencing works. There are a few more possibilities with formulas. If you click on Home tab Formulas and go into the command group called as Formula Auditing and click on Show Formulas, double click, double click, double click, you can see that your Excel would show you the formulas entered in those cells. So this is how you can also check if you have made any mistakes in your formulas. So we added some C48 here, some D4D8 here, D9 minus C9, D11 by C9, some mean, average, count. We were supposed to have not some here, but we should have max. Okay, max, mean, average, and count. And when you again click on show formula, you can see when you take your mouse on show formulas in the tooltip, it tells there is a hotkey for show formulas, and that is control and the sign tilt. So if I hit control and tilt, I need to auto fit column. It shows me the values. If I do control tilt again, it shows me the formulas. So this is how I can switch between formulas and values. Okay, there's another option which might be helpful sometimes, which is calculation options. When you click on drop down, it says automatic except for data tables and manual. It's on automatic right now. What does it mean? If I change this value from 10 to 20, it will automatically calculate based on the value we changed. I'll go back and select manual. Now I'll change this value to 10%. As you can see, it has not changed the values yet. Okay, most of you who work in finance would understand that if you're working with a complex spreadsheet and if you change few parameters, you don't want to change your end results immediately. Okay, so then if you have that kind of requirement, you can use this functionality. Now if you want to calculate with the new value that you have changed, then you can click on calculate now, and then it will calculate the value again for the formulas with the new values that you have entered in the cells. Okay, when you click on calculate sheet, it will calculate all formulas on the active sheet. Okay, so you need calculate now to calculate the entire workbook. So all sheets in a workbook will be calculated automatically, and hotkey for that is F9. If you want to calculate only on the sheet that which is active right now, then you can use Shift F9. But you need these options only if you are using manual calculation and not the automatic. Okay, we'll keep it automatic for rest of the session. While using the formulas, it might happen that you would make some mistakes, and different mistake is flagged up by Excel in a different way. For example, while writing the formula, let's say if you make a mistake of writing the formula, for example, max, minimum, and average. So I might think that I can use a short form of average. So instead of a full average word, if I type AVG and hit enter, it would say we found a typo in your formula and we tried to correct it to average. So do you want to accept the correction? If I say no, then you can see it flags up the error which says hash name question mark, which means you have entered something in that column or cell which Excel spreadsheet cannot understand. Then I'll go back and correct it to average, hit enter key, and the problem solved. We already saw hash key, and if you do it like this, then the problem is solved. The another common error which sometimes happens, let's say I'm not using dollar sign in this formula, so I use it as E1. Okay, so if I copy this cell and paste it into the second cell, we saw that it copies the cell as it is, but E1 becomes E2 because we moved one row down. What would happen if we move few rows up? So if I copy this formula here, now it gives me the error which says hash reference. And if you go into the formula bar up here, you would see it says C2 plus C2 multiply by hash ref exclamation, which means that while calculating the formula when you copy and paste, Excel couldn't find the reference that you were trying to refer to. Now why is that? Because as you can see, the formula here is C4 plus C4 multiplied by E1. We copied this formula and we tried to paste it in this cell, which is two rows up. So when you try to paste the formula here, what it would do, it will reduce the row by 2. So C4 became C2 and C4 here also became C2. For sake of better understanding, I will activate the formula by Control and tight. You can see here it says C4, so C4 became C2. This C4 also became C2. For E1, it tried to reduce the number of rows by 2, but it has nowhere to go because 1 minus 2 would be minus 1 and there is no row such as E minus 1, and that's why it is giving you the reference error. Okay, so you have to be careful when you copy and paste the error and keep in mind how the relative referencing and the absolute referencing changes when you try to copy and paste. Whenever there is an error highlighted in the Excel cell, you can see that it shows a small triangle in left top corner. When you select the cell, it gives you a warning sign with a drop down arrow. When you click on it, it gives you further help on the error. For example, here it tells you that there is an invalid cell reference error. You can also click and try to get some help on this error or show calculation steps. You can ignore error, edit the formula, or error checking options. So if we click on show calculation steps, it tells us that okay, it tried to calculate the formula which is C2 plus C2, so there is 0 plus 0 into it couldn't find what to multiply with, and that's why you have the problem. When you click on evaluate, it will say to show the results of the underlined expression which is 0 into ref, click evaluate is hash ref, because it cannot find any reference for that, and that's why the answer is hash ref. If you click on inconsistent cell reference or help on this error, then Excel help will open to correct hash ref error. That's all for this particular session today. So we learn how to use the relative and absolute referencing and what cares to we should take when we copy and paste the cells containing the references or the formulas. Come back to know a bit more about how to work with the dates and some formulas related to the dates and few more exciting exercises together. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share the video and help the people who want to learn Excel in a methodical way, step by step. Thank you.